The Nephilim UFO Connection Part 2. Did you know that more than 5 million Americans claim that they have been abducted by aliens? In Part 1, we demonstrated that the sons of God in Genesis 6 were angels who left heaven to cohabit with women. They had children with these women who were called the Nephilim or giants. As we said in Part 1, the fallen angels were arrested and locked in Tartarus while their children, the Nephilim which perished in the Great Flood, became demons because they were neither angels nor humans. Their spirits were left on the earth where they remain as demons to torment humankind. In this part, we will try to tie it all together so that we can make sense of the UFO or alien phenomenon that is being experienced by people around the world. Many of the UFO phenomena have natural explanations. However, some of them seem to be spiritual in nature. We will try to explain the spiritual aspect in this part of the presentation. As those of you who have watched Part 1 already know, our approach is from a biblical perspective which we will continue to use in this part as well. Many have proposed that these UFOs are manifestations of demons which are the fallen angels. Yet, others also believe that they are demons which are the disembodied spirit of the Nephilim who had died in the Great Flood. While we believe that demons are the spirits of the Nephilim who died in the flood, we do not think that they are capable of the great feats performed by the UFOs which have been observed or recorded by many spectators. We are proposing a new theory to explain the UFO alien phenomena based on all the evidence that we have available. In our opinion, none of the theories that have been proposed so far have taken all the data available into account. For instance, in his testimony before Congress, Grush mentioned that the U.S. has bodies of non-human subjects which have been recovered from UFO crashes.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
We must assume that these non-human bodies are dead. Now, we know that demons do not have bodies, and angels cannot die. So, those bodies, which have been retrieved, cannot belong to the demons nor the angels. Therefore, we are proposing that these aliens, more specifically the gray aliens, are hybrid species. We will explore this theory in this presentation. Angels or spirits appearing as chariots of fire. Our view is that some of the remaining fallen angels are continuing the work of the previous fallen angels, who have been imprisoned in Tartarus, but they are using different tactics. We will substantiate our views by using the Bible, the apocryphal books along with a few other sources. Most discussions about UFO and the Bible normally centers on the book of Ezekiel where the prophet described a wheel within a wheel, with cherubim which many believe to be a UFO. In fact, some artists have even designed a UFO-like craft based on the description provided in Ezekiel chapter 1. However, the biblical text that is most pertinent to our view, which is neglected in the UFO discussion, is found in 2 Kings chapter 6. The king of Syria sent an army to arrest the prophet Elisha, and we read the event in verse 15 to 17. And the servant of the man of God arose early and went out. And, behold, an army surrounded the city, and horses and chariots. And his servant said to him, Alas, my master! What shall we do? And he answered, Do not fear, for those with us are more than those with them. And Elisha prayed and said, I pray you, Jehovah, open his eyes so that he may see. And Jehovah opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. These chariots of fire are part of the army of heaven, made of angels, which came to protect God's servant. Commenting on these verses, Keel and Delitzsch stated, Opening the eyes was translation into the ecstatic state of clairvoyance, in which an insight into the invisible spirit world was granted him. The fiery horses and chariots were symbols of the protecting powers of heaven, which surrounded the prophet. The fiery form indicated the superterrestrial origin of this host. Fire, as the most ethereal of all earthly elements, was the most appropriate substratum for making the spirit world visible. These angels exist in the invisible world, and Elisha's servant could not see them with his physical eyes, so God had to open his spiritual eyes so that he could see through the veil that separate the visible from the invisible world. Now this is not Elisha's first encounter with these chariots of fire. When God was about to take the prophet Elijah to heaven, Elisha was there to experience the event and saw the chariots of fire. In 2 Kings 2 verse 11 we read, "And it happened as they went on and talked, behold, a chariot of fire and horses of fire came, and they separated between them both. And Elijah went up in a tempest into heaven." How would we know these were spacecrafts? We propose that since ancient people had not seen spaceships before and that word would not be part of their vocabulary, they would use terms like chariot of fire and horses of fire to explain technology that is beyond their time. We are not saying that it was a physical craft, but it was a physical manifestation of the supernatural. However, you may ask, how do we know these were angels or spirits? There are many biblical texts that can prove our view, but for brevity, we would point you to 1 Chronicles 28 verse 18, which says, "And the altar of incense refined gold by weight, and gold for the pattern of the chariot of the cherubs, who spread out their wings, and covered the ark of the covenant of Jehovah." Moreover, the prophet Zechariah had a vision where he saw 4 chariots with horses. When he asked for an explanation about them, the angel told him in Zechariah 6 verse 5. "And the angel answered and said to me, These are the 4 spirits of the heavens who go forth from standing before the Lord of all the earth." Since the verse says that these chariots with horses are spirit, we can agree that these are supernatural beings and not physical chariots. Now, we have gone through these biblical texts to prove that angels, whether good or bad, can appear in forms that may appear like crafts which we may not be able to understand the physics that they are using. One thing that many people who have seen these crafts have said is that they can appear and disappear within a few seconds, and they can perform maneuvers that modern physics cannot explain. Therefore, it is very likely that we are dealing with interdimensional or supernatural beings. We believe that these beings are angels and not demons. What role, then, do demons play? The demons, which are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, play a vital role in the UFO alien phenomenon. We believe that the gray aliens are avatars or bodies created by the current fallen angels in order to continue the work of the angels in Genesis 6 which have been imprisoned in Tartarus. These avatars are animated or possessed by the demons, which are the gray aliens that are acting like worker bees for the fallen angels in their abduction program. In the book, Inner Paths to Outer Space, in the chapter titled, Close Encounter of the Ancient Kind, Dr. Frexka stated that strange entities appear, talking lizards, smart snakes, little people, angels, aliens, when DMT is administered to volunteers. The author further states that the majority of UFO encounters occur during the early morning hours, when the pineal gland, which produces endogenous DMT, is the most active. There is a strong connection between DMT, which is the active ingredient in ayahuasca, and UFO alien experiences. We hope to talk further about the relation between DMT and the supernatural world in a different video. To continue our assessment, we need to remember that Satan is always trying to imitate what God has done. Many of these aliens have claimed that they created human beings. For instance, the Anunnaki have boasted that they had created the first humanoid species. So, it is not far-fetched that these fallen angels can create avatar to inhabit so that they can carry out their nefarious deeds. Connecting the dots. In his last book, Demons, What the Bible Really Says About the Powers of Darkness, the late Bible scholar Michael S. Heiser, using the intertestamental demonological literature, mentioned that Belial, along with Mastema, is a name used for the original divine rebel, Satan of the New Testament. Why is this Mastema important, and how does it help us to connect all of the pieces of our puzzle together? Dr. Heiser further informed us that In Jubilees 10, the writer has God speaking to the archangels tasked with rounding up and ridding the earth of the demons that were the result of the Genesis 6 debacle. The leader of the evil spirits, Mastema, requested that a certain number of demons be permitted to remain on the earth under his charge. Heiser further quoted Jubilees 10 verse 8 to let us know exactly what Mastema asked from God, which is to let them, the evil spirits, do everything which I tell them, because if some of them are not left for me, I will not be able to exercise the authority of my will among the children of men, because they are intended to corrupt and lead astray before my judgment, because of the evil of the sons of men is great. According to Jubilees 10 verses 6 to 11, God acquiesced to Mastema's request by allowing 1/10 of the evil spirits to escape judgment. So Mastema, who is Satan, was allowed to have an army of demons to harass human beings. Now we can understand the relationship between Satan and his minions, which are the demons. Since these demons were left at Satan's disposal to lead humankind astray, he is using them in the abduction program. Potential proof for our theory. Although it is alleged that they are a variety of alien species, many people who have been abducted say that the gray aliens are the ones they always interact with. Could it be that the gray aliens, who are avatar for the demons, are carrying out their final assault on humankind, which their leader Mastema has orchestrated? Many people have been able to stop alien abductions by calling on the name of Jesus. This has to be proof that the gray aliens which are involved in abducting people are nothing more than demons in disguise. Listen to this video clip titled, "Why Christians Think Aliens Are Really Demons," from the YouTube channel Paradox Brown.
If what people are dealing with in these encounters are authentic extraterrestrial life forms with such superior technology, why would her almost absent-minded expression of the name of Jesus cause the entities to be, quote, surprised or stunned? Why would they suddenly move a little slower? The most common accounts of alien abduction involve people who, by all accounts, are taken against their will. They can't move, they can't even scream most of the time, they can't get away no matter how hard they try, right? Why would such superior, allegedly superior entities in the transcribed accounts of one of the most famous abductees in history, as soon as she said Jesus, why would they now have to plead with her?
We hope you have enjoyed this presentation. Feel free to let us know what you think about our theory. Come back for more presentations as we explore the supernatural aspects of the Bible.